With the 2027 elections on the horizon, Nigeria's political landscape is beginning to shift. We'll take a closer look at Nasir El-Rufai's recent projections and what they could mean for the future of the APC. Then we will explore the response from the Niger Delta youth, who has voiced strong support for the NNPC boss amidst growing calls for his removal. It will be an interesting one tonight. This is Politics HQ. Welcome. I am Biodun Ajiboye. Let's get the answers. Former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai has predicted that President Bola Tinubu will not win the 2027 election. Once a key ally during the 2023 campaign, El-Rufai is now aligned with the opposition coalition under the African Democratic Congress, signaling a sharp break from the APC. His projections are fueling debates over the ruling party's strategy, regional influence, and prospects for retaining power. What does this projection mean for the APC? Is the party losing its northern grip? And could the ADC coalition be the wild card that reshapes the 2027 race? Well, take a listen to one of these reactions, which of course is by the FCT minister.
My friend, but he failed in this mathematics. He goofed. He would have completed it, telling us, since I know Tinubu will come third, he should also provided who will be first and second. He said, I failed in mathematics level. How did you arrive at who would be third? Then you will not arrive who will be first and second.
Can't we assume that
he knows
that is projected the ADC has come?
But he should have come out to tell us. You see, one thing I like about El-Rufai is that he speaks his mind. But sometimes he's speaking your mind, say the one that is correct. In this one, I'll put a bet if he agrees. If Tinubu does not win this election squarely, I'll put a bet. You see, I watched him, he said they should go and ask Jonathan. No two persons are the same. No two persons are the same.
Felix Morka, the National Publicity Secretary of the APC, joins me, and also Biodun Ajiboye, a former member of the Tinubu Presidential Campaign Council. Gentlemen, thank you for your time.
Hello.
All right. Let me start with you, Mr. Morka. Mr. Morka, just quickly, your reaction to the prediction that Nasir El-Rufai did say that in 2027, the APC, the president will come third, and that speculations that the APC is losing its grip in the north.
Thank you very much, Dakpo. You know, look, ordinarily I would say that Malam El-Rufai's comments are getting very undeserved attention from, the media. He didn't say anything that was significant or anything that was important. Because when a man like El-Rufai sits, behind a desk and makes statements that even prophets, even real prophets, will not dare to make, then you know that, clearly the man is not thinking straight. He is not, thinking like the rational person that he's supposed to be. He's clearly become overrun by his emotions. He is sulking. He is pained by his inability to emerge as minister. And since that event, he is completely transformed and transmogrified into a personality that is unrecognizable. But you know what? I think it's just pitiful that a man who had served as a minister in our country, who served as governor of a state as important as Kaduna State, would, come in the public space and make statements without any basis. I mean, who is El-Rufai to dictate to Nigerians how they are to vote? in 2027. El-Rufai has moved into a new party, the ADC. Since he joined the ADC, we have had the by-elections, and we also had the, just the recent local government elections in Rivers State. The ADC was a no-show. They did not, show any indication that they are present anywhere in this country. Malam El-Rufai should concentrate his energies trying to fix his new party and to make it work. Instead, the party is locked in, again, crisis that follows him. You know what? I don't know what else to say.
Okay. Just a follow-up to, some of the things he has said. I just would also like to know your reaction to him referring to this government as evil. He said, he also used the word chronism of the highest order, and he described the government as a government out to make money for itself and its cronies. These are pretty strong. How do you react?
When El-Rufai says that he knows evil when he sees one, I think that's the only thing he said in that interview that I agree with. And the reason I agree with El-Rufai on that is that he looks in the mirror every day and he sees the image of himself. So maybe that's what he's describing, because, I don't know what else, he could describe as evil. What is evil? A government that was elected by Nigerians? A president who is doing what generations of presidents before him did not do, could not do? A president that is transforming the economy sector by sector, inch by inch? You see, Malam El-Rufai was a governor of Kaduna State, a small state, just one state out of, Nigeria's 36 states. He turned Kaduna State into the, hotbed of insecurity, of sectarian violence, state-sponsored violence. Now in 2 years, Governor Ubasani has restored sanity in that state. People can now sleep with their two eyes closed. Southern Kaduna, that was a no-go area, is now flourishing again. Economic life has returned. People have moved back to their homes. So when a man who failed miserably to bring peace and stability to his state takes a microphone and begins to describe, everybody else as evil, and he's the saint, I think El-Rufai is describing himself, not anyone else.
All right, thank you very much. Let me bring Mr. Biodun Ajiboye into the conversation. As a former member of the Tinubu Presidential Campaign Council. It's great to have you, sir. All right, I would like to, of course, start my conversation with you with a recent graphics, put up by on the president's page, his Twitter handle. And the name of the title of this graphics is Infrastructure Equity for Every Region, Progress for Every Nigerian, the Renewed Hope Agenda in Action. And in that particular graphics, I hope it will come up on the screen, there's a column there that has regional spend, with, of course, in brackets, verifiable data. And in it, we can see about a 5.97 trillion naira, that's in the Northwest, and there's a distribution of spendings, across the various regions, and some of the projects, some of which is described as legacy projects too. But when one looks at this in tandem with the cost of living, particularly for the average Nigerian, there's left to wonder. So, you are part of the Presidential Campaign Council. Is President Bola Tinubu actually delivering on his campaign promises?
Am I supposed to answer all that?
Yes, please.
I didn't hear you very clearly. That's the truth.
Okay, so I'm asking.
So I was wondering.
Is the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President? You are part of the Presidential Campaign Council.
Yes.
Is it delivering, sir?
Yes.
To Nigerians?
Well, if that is your question, that is good. I was not just a member of the Presidential Campaign Council. I got appointed in about 2 years ago to head a parastatal called National Institute for Cultural Orientation. Okay, so, but I would really like to start with El-Rufai, or maybe I come back to El-Rufai. But talking about renewed hope agenda and its actualization, Nigeria has never had it so good. And I'll tell you what I mean. It is clear that there is inflation in Nigeria, and the cause of the inflation is only very reasonable to understand. First of all, there was this removal of fuel subsidy, and there is this flotation of currency, dollar against the naira. Those two circumstances at the initial stage will be tough, and there will be inflation, people's cash at hand will be low and all of that. So that is responsible for everything you see around that is a bit harsh. But within the last 1 month, prices have started coming down because the mechanism was such that it will be hard in the beginning, and after a while, prices will come down. A bag of rice went to as high as almost 100,000 naira, but it's now less to about 60,000 naira, and it's still coming down. Now, let's talk about what the renewed hope agenda is all about. But President Bola Tinubu wanted to take Nigeria from the scratch. Since 1960, we have been patching on. The man says, no, there could be permanent solutions to some of our problems. Let us start from this point. And he went to the nitty-gritty of our problem. Reforms, tax reforms. Nigerians don't pay tax. Hardly would you see an adult who is not in corporate business paying tax. So, first of all, let us pay adequate tax, or pay tax adequately to increase and raise our revenue. 1 point. Talking about infrastructure, you can see the major infrastructures going on, Badagry to Sokoto, Coastal Road, Lagos to Calabar. Those are very important infrastructure that Nigeria needs to build to be able to stand on its feet. Now, then look at this application and distribution of the fallout of the fuel subsidy. The previous government in 8 years paid to states 900 billion naira to all the states in 8 years. Bola Tinubu in 2 years had paid 1.04 trillion to all the states. Now, there's this thing we call NEL fund, student loan fund. The government had distributed 73 billion to students as of July 2025. So when we talk about renewed hope, what we are talking about, what do we do to put smiles on the faces of people? And how do we do it such that even after 8 years of President Bola Tinubu, the next government will not be starting afresh? That's the whole essence of renewed hope.
Okay, so I mean, because there are many hanging issues, particularly around the current cost of living, particularly when it affects the basic items, food, accommodation, even transportation. But we'll go on a quick break, gentlemen. When we return, we'll definitely pick up on this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Many thanks for staying with us. It's still Politics HQ on News Central Television. I still have my guest with me. Felix Morka is the National Publicity Secretary of the APC, and also Biodun Ajiboye, a former member of the Tinubu Presidential Campaign Council. Gentlemen, thank you for staying with me. Let me come back to you, Mr. Felix Morka. I mean, you talked extensively about Madam El-Rufai, and you sort of said, I mean, Nigerians shouldn't pretty much focus on him, and his utterances. But I would also like to ask a question. I mean, he was a member of the APC, a strong member. During the campaign, I mean, he was beside the president. He campaigned, vigorously, and Nigerians saw all of that. I mean, there are even videos there that where I was in jolly cohort with Mr. President. So my question to you is, what fell apart? What happened? Why is he on the other side now?
I did answer that question in my earlier comments. as you recall, maybe Nigerians will also recall, that Malam El-Rufai made a bid for the position of minister in this government, but eventually was not appointed based on the outcomes of the screening by the National Assembly. Now, the moment that happened, everything changed. So I think the best person to answer the question as to what changed is really El-Rufai. I don't think that ourselves in APC are in a position to explain the El-Rufai's psychological inside what is going on with him. But he's a man. He was a former governor. He was a former minister. So he's a man who is able to speak for himself, and he is speaking for himself, and he has a right to do. But Nigerians who hear him also have a right to hear him as they choose to hear him. And I think that a lot of people are not taking El-Rufai seriously because he has not offered any basis or justification for why he moved from his previous position to his current position, where he has become acerbically antagonistic, not just to the president, but to the party. And, again, the reason is clear. The man he has vendetta. He's on a mission to settle scores, to use politics to settle personal scores. And that's why no serious Nigerian will take him seriously. Look, we're in a democracy. People have a right to wake up in the morning, in Lagos and go to sleep in Bauchi. They can do what they like. That's the essence of our freedoms. So El-Rufai is no exception. But I think that after he has spoken, we in the party, if we consider his comments to be, to be worth replying to, we will respond. All right. As I'm responding right now. So there's nothing special about what he said.
All right. Really. All right. I'm still going to come back to you, Mr. Morka, and then we'll talk extensively also ahead of 2027. Particularly with the ADC, which of course seems to be gaining some sort of traction. But let me leave you and go to Mr. Ajiboye. Mr. Ajiboye, you said you would also like to speak on the recent activities of Malam El-Rufai. Can we take your thoughts before we let you go?
Well, to be very honest with you, we should stop discussing El-Rufai as a serious matter. Malam El-Rufai in recent times has allowed his frustration to becloud his reasoning and wisdom. And he has fallen from the high horse of intelligence to the base of foolery, completely. The man talks, you see, I always wonder, at this stage of his life, 65, you shouldn't allow your pain to get on your face so easily that people can read you like a book. There's nothing El-Rufai would say. El-Rufai is unhappy. He feels himself as the most valuable human being God created. So when other calculations hit him wrongly, for instance, his inability to be minister got him extremely mental and completely deranged, and he got lunatical and he went on the street and became very wild. There's nothing else that is wrong. When a man values himself so much, almost equating himself to God, any little disappointment will throw him off balance. That is exactly what's happening to El-Rufai, nothing else. See all the things he was saying, that the government had made no impact. He kept lying and lying on Malam Nuhu Ribadu. He had a problem with Malam Nuhu Ribadu that is yet unresolved. That's between the two of them. He shouldn't bring that to national politics. Two, he kept lying about everything he said, so to the extent that the office of the National Security Advisor had taken him up, debunking all his lies. Even the governor of Kaduna State had taken him up, debunking all his lies. In fact, they are saying that if he's not careful, he'll be arrested because he's attempting to destabilize the government. And I agree with them. See the unprintable names he called the president. Who is El-Rufai? Who on earth is El-Rufai? I need somebody to tell me that he feels so arrogant in himself. In what way is he better than me or you? What has he done? Such a person cannot rule Nigeria to start with. In case he has an ambition to be president, he would throw Nigeria up in flames.
Just before I let you go, sir, just quickly, before I let you go, if you were to advise him, what would you tell him? I'm talking of Madam El-Rufai.
If I were to advise him, he's about 2 years older than me, or 3. If I were to advise him, I would tell him silence is golden. The more you react, the more you open yourself up, to ridicule. And he's now being ridiculed so much everywhere. I have on my table here how much he mismanaged about 452 million naira in BPE, how much he sold lands to, he took land from people and sold to his cronies as FCT minister, how much he orchestrated a lot of confusion, catastrophe in Kaduna State.
Are you suggesting he was corrupt?
I'm not suggesting it was corrupt. I just told you what I told you directly. I have no suggestions. The inference and interpretation is yours. So interpret it as you mean. I have just said that as BPEDG, there is an allegation on him that he mismanaged 452 million. And as a FCT minister, there are allegations of tarring a 5-kilometer road for 2.1 billion. All of those things are there. So what I'm saying, you said I should advise him, and I'm saying to you, that there's a time to be silent. Silence is golden. A man who has done what hurts you today will do what will please you tomorrow. That Asiwaju Bola Tinubu has refused to make him minister. It's not the end of the world.
All right. All right, sir.
So why is he hitting his head on the wall all over the place? For what? Looking for allies to discredit the government. Even saying that the government, Bola Tinubu, cannot become president in 2027. What does he know about people becoming president? If he cares to understand who Bola Tinubu is, he will change his mind. He will change his tactics.
Right.
His tactics going forward is not workable. Bola Tinubu is not that type of person you will harass, intimidate, or threaten. Go and check his records in Lagos. Malam El-Rufai doesn't know anything. He's just talking like a child. Who grew up in Kaduna or somewhere in the north and has not been exposed in his life. He's not talking like somebody who is exposed.
All right, Mr. Biodun Ajiboye, a former member of the Tinubu Presidential Campaign Council, thank you so much for your time. All right, let me come back to you, Mr. Felix Morka, National Publicity Secretary of the APC. Let's talk about the ADC, which is the political party that seems to be gathering a lot of noise and also gathering a lot of members. Number one, I'll put it to you directly. Is the APC already having sleepless nights over the ADC, given the caliber of politicians, that are, going to the party, and particularly its presence in the north?
Look, Dakpo, I don't know how you come up with this framing about the ADC, and I don't know why anyone, even somebody who suffers from insomnia, will sleep well at the mention of the ADC. Why would we have sleepless nights over a party that can't even get a hold of its own act? The ADC, even El-Rufai, who is a member of ADC, in his own state, the ADC in Kaduna State have since disowned him. They have said, look, this guy is not, a legitimate member of their party. Why do we, look, we just had a by-election. The ADC was already active with the likes of El-Rufai and Atiku Abubakar, Rotimi Amechi and all of them in that party. Tell me what was their show in the by-election. We just concluded the Rivers local government election in the state where Rotimi Amechi, one of the leaders of the ADC, comes from. Tell me what impact or what show they put up in that election. It was zero. Look, it's easy to come on national television and run your mouth as much as you want. But when you speak empty words that are not backed by, action, by, political electoral action, then your words don't mean anything.
Mr.
So
Morka,
look, the fact that people can speak and make noise and issue temporary statements every day It's not politics. That is just noise making. You said it right. You said that they're making noise, and that's what they're doing. And you know, we have noise filters, so we're not bothered by those who make noise because we focus on substance.
Okay, now,
Yes.
Mr. Morka, just to also come in here, I mean, what do you have to say as regards allegations that maybe, just maybe, the ruling party is going after some members of the opposition, particularly who have joined, the coalition, and over allegations that some are questioning the timeliness, of it. What's your reaction?
What allegation exactly? What are you?
Allegations of, for instance, some former governors and public office holders who have been invited by the EFCC to answer questions. Some are saying, why now?
Mr. Dakpo, are you aware that governors who served on the platform of APC, like the former governor of Kogi State, are you aware or you're not aware of his own travels, the efforts by the investigative agencies to, investigate him and perhaps to even put him on trial? Are you aware of that? You see, I think the media should also help Nigeria. This idea that when people say things, journalists, and we need to, I think, up our game to carry out investigations of some of these allegations. It's not enough to just report allegations, because people can say anything they want. Governors who have served under the platform of APC have also come under the searchlight of the investigators. Nobody is above the law. Whether you are a member of the PDP or a member of the Labour Party or the APC, if there is reason, if there's probable cause for investigators to focus on your service and your tenure, they will do that. And that's what they're doing. They're doing their job. And I don't think we should politicize the job of law enforcement and make it look like anytime anybody who is not a member of APC comes under investigation, therefore it's politically motivated. That is just a senseless argument to make. So I think that if you have any credible evidence where there's been an investigation and a case has been profiled where there is reason to believe that this individual, whether former governor or a former official, is being targeted selectively based on his political affiliation, please bring that evidence forward. But I don't think we should spend our time at this stage in our national life to be discussing frivolous allegations and conjecture.
So basically, you are saying that all of this is not political, it's just accountability at stake here.
I've given you an example of an APC, former APC governor, who is also, facing, scrutiny. My point is that is not, a sensible thing to say. Unless you have evidence, I don't think I want to countenance that sort of, nonsense, actually.
All right, Mr. Morka, we'll go on a quick break. When we return, we'll also quickly take your reaction to a recent post by Peter Obi as regards what he called Nigeria holds 2 dangerous health records in just 1 year. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Many thanks for staying with us. I still have my guest, Felix Morka, as National Publicity Secretary of the APC. Thank you for staying with me, sir. Quickly, before I wrap up my conversation with you, I'd like to make reference to a post by former Governor of Anambra State and also the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in 2023, Peter Obi, where, on September 1st, he put up a post on X. Nigeria holds 2 dangerous health records in just 1 year. It says, sadly, our country, Nigeria, today holds 2 of the most dangerous health records in the world within just 1 year. A double tragedy, considering the health is one of the most critical measures of development. First, Nigeria now has the lowest life expectancy in the world, with an average of 54.6 years. According to the United Nations World Population Prospects of 2025 report, the report bluntly states, if you live in Nigeria, you are simply waiting to die. The second being, another damning report shows that Nigeria is the worst country in the world to give birth, with 1 maternal death record every 7 minutes. We continue to hear heartbreaking stories of children losing their mothers during childbirth and families losing both mother and the child. Let me stop there. I mean, what's your reaction, sir, considering our current health sector?
Now, again, Mr. Peter Obi, who I think has distinguished himself as in Nigeria's political prophet of doom. These are the things, he goes out to rake up things from wherever he finds them to advance his doomsday, arguments about our country. Nigeria is still the, Africa's most populous country. Clearly, our population growth rate surpasses any other African country. So if Peter Obi's, again, he's the master of fake statistics. If his numbers are true, then already the next information he should be giving us is that we are beginning to slide in population growth. But I don't think that that's the position of anybody in this country or any responsible international agency. Peter Obi will say what Peter Obi will say, but more serious things, good news. Just recently, we saw a remarkable rise in our foreign reserve. Peter Obi will not discuss that. Our oil export today is approaching 1,900,000 barrels per day. Peter Obi will not tweet that. He goes in search of information, manipulates information in order to score his point. Look, this is not patriotism. This is not what opposition politics ought to be. This level of, I think, almost mercenary political engagement is not serving us. Look, just recently, Simon Ekpa, the self-declared leader of, Biafra or IPOB in the diaspora, was convicted, in Finland recently. I just was reading a statement by some non-governmental organizations where they were describing Peter Obi's silence as, being the loudest ever on that point. He will not discuss matters like that. But, it's just to go around looking for, marginal, irrelevant information to tweet so that, again, he can, make his point. Right. I wish him well, but Nigeria remains, strong. We are rebounding remarkably under this president.
In one word, are we making progress in our health sector, sir?
We are making tremendous progress. We have thousands of healthcare centers that have been renovated, new health centers built, and some still under construction. We have firms now, pharmaceutical companies that are, relocating into Nigeria to manufacture and produce, drugs at affordable prices, and take advantage of the huge market that we have available. Look, it does not take a day. Even El-Rufai himself said of Peter Obi and, not Peter Obi, Peter Obi and Rotimi Amechi, that their claim to, a one-year term was wrong. Right. Even El-Rufai condemned that because he says 4 years is not enough. But all of these characters want perfection in Nigeria in less than 2 years.
All right, Mr. Morka.
It's all hypocrisy.
All right, thank you so much for your time. Felix Morka is the National Publicity Secretary of the APC.